Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast or rebroadcast, whenever you decide to jump in with us. We are going to be answering the question, hopefully for you today. And the question is, should I start intermittent fasting? So if you're considering intermittent fasting as a new lifestyle change for yourself, or maybe you had done some intermittent fasting in the past and you want to jump back in, I hope this broadcast today will be perfect timing for you. So if you are new, welcome. My name is Diane. I am the creator of the online course Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman and this amazing community of women that we have here. If you are joining us from YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing today so that way you will be informed when we go live and or upload new content. And if you're joining us on Facebook, I always ask the same thing. But you'll have to just hit that like button and then make sure you're set up for default notifications. So what I want you guys to do is in the comment section, I want you to tell me if you are currently practicing intermittent fasting or if you are considering starting intermittent fasting, because I want to know who's showing up in our community and how it is I can best serve you. So are you currently intermittent fasting? Are you considering starting intermittent fasting? Maybe you need some questions answered, or let's do a third option. Have you practiced intermittent fasting and you're considering jumping back in? So I want to talk to you about what intermittent fasting is, and I want to break it down very, very simply, because information out in the world today about intermittent fasting can be really complicated. And oftentimes it's the complicated aspect of intermittent fasting that has us asking the question, should I start intermittent fasting? Because there are so many technical terms and there's so much scientific rhetoric that is discussed to make it, I don't know, more sexy or I don't know, more sophisticated or whatever the reason is. And I really like to keep it simple here in this community because intermittent fasting should just be a lifestyle. And let me explain to you why I think that is. So we have 24 hours in our day. Within that 24-hour period, a couple of things happen to us and rhythms and cycles, hormonal balances, and what is going on in our body chemistry. So we all know what a circadian rhythm is. That is our sleep and our wake cycle. So you are either sleeping or you are awake. And you can't really do both of those things at the same time, right? When we're sleeping, that's when our body's in rest and recovery. And we're awake, that's when we're actually utilizing energy and we're going about our day. Intermittent fasting is that simple. You're either fasting or you're feasting, and you can't do both at the same time. So if you think about your 24-hour period and you take X amount of hours to sleep and you take X amount of hours to be awake, simply breaking things down, intermittent fasting is the same thing. You're either fasting or you're feasting, and you can't do both at the same time. So where should we be as women with intermittent fasting? Well, let's go back to our circadian rhythm. Let's go back to the sleep-wake cycle. We know that if we consistently sleep over time, our body is well rested, it's not stressed out, hormones stay in balance, we don't have foggy brain, we kind of show up for our day ready to kind of tackle whatever is coming our way, and we feel really equipped to face our day. Our body has an opportunity to rest and repair, and it really does help us just move about our life. The same thing holds true with intermittent fasting. When we are in the fasted state, the same type of things happen to us or for us as we do in that sleep state. So we give our body the opportunity to just rest and repair, and we utilize what's in storage that has been built up over time to really energize our day. So when we're fasted, we create a hormonal and a chemical opportunity for our body to reset itself and adjust for the next day. When we're in a feasted state, our body is working and our body is busy trying to break down what it is that we put inside of it. And it's processing the chemical reactions and the hormonal reactions that occur when we are in a feasted state. So if we spend more of our time in our 24-hour period in a fasted state, we give our body a greater opportunity to reset hormonally, take a break chemically, and balance itself back out into a normal state. When we're taking more hours out of our day to feast, we're constantly in work mode. We're constantly requiring our body to break down and process whatever it is that we're putting inside of it. And so after, years and years and years of living in this feasted state, our body tends to break itself down. And for women who are going through hormonal and chemical changes anyway, just because that's how life works for us, we never give our body an opportunity to rest and repair and recover. And that is really what a fasted state does for us. It can be that simple. We do not have to worry about getting our food so meticulously correct. We don't have to worry about all of the scientific details of what's happening to us in a fasted state. We simply just need to create a lifestyle for ourselves with the basic understanding that if we're in a fasted state, we give our body the opportunity to rest and repair, and an opportunity for our chemicals that are going on, all the chemical reactions and the hormones that we have going on in our body that could be a little out of whack, an opportunity to reset themselves and just rest. So it is as simple as a circadian rhythm. We have sleep cycles and we have wake cycles, and our intermittent fasting lifestyle creates a feasting window and a fasting window. The longer we stay in that fasted window, the more opportunity we have to repair. Now, why is this so significant for us as aging women? And remember, aging women is a term that I use here to describe women who are going through seasons of their life where no matter what they're doing nutritionally, or no matter what they're doing with their workouts, or no matter what they're doing with everything else in their life, you're going through changes that you feel like you're not in control of, and things just feel completely out of whack. And so we are using intermittent fasting as that opportunity to rest and repair and give our body the opportunity to reset itself. So I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to ask yourself this question. When you think about whether you should start intermittent fasting or not, I want you to take that thought process through a second series of questions. And I want you to ask yourself what you're currently doing in your fasting, in your feasting lifestyle. How's that working for you? And what results are you getting? And are you feeling like you're living happily throughout your life? Are you feeling like the decisions that you're making in your feasting window are serving your ultimate end goal of hopefully, living a lifestyle where you're happy and you're energetic and you're not feeling stressed out about whether you should be eating or not eating, and really creating a lifestyle for yourself where food is not the main focus, where what you should eat or how you eat, or should you not eat that, or is that a bad food, or is that a good food, or feeling guilty, or bad mistakes, and all those things that tend to wear us down emotionally and mentally, is that where you're running on the forefront of your mind? And could intermittent fasting be the thing that just allows you an opportunity to utilize the two window opportunities that we have in an intermittent fasting lifestyle, and giving you the opportunity to take a majority of your day and simply just do nothing except let your body rest and let your body recover, and you just simply move out of your body's way? So think about this. If what you're currently doing is not working for you, are you at a point or stage in your life where maybe reconsidering what you're doing and implementing a new lifestyle for yourself? What I really want to emphasize at this point in our discussion today is that intermittent fasting should not be considered a diet. Intermittent fasting should not be considered a quick fix approach. Intermittent fasting should not be looked at as something that you want to do simply to lose weight. We know now that weight loss is not the result of calories in or calories out. We know that weight loss is not the result of a diet plan, because diet plans don't work. We know that weight loss comes to us as women when we are in a balanced state. And the balanced state does happen when we have incorporated an intermittent fasting lifestyle that allows our body to get in that state of balance, and we simply do nothing but let it happen. So if you are considering intermittent fasting, I want you to consider it from the mental approach of creating a window of opportunity where you allow your body to fast, and then you give your body an opportunity to feast, with that feast in mind for supporting your next fast. And what will you do in that feasting window to make sure that you have an opportunity to give your body the best benefit or the best bang for its buck during that next fasting opportunity? And when we break it down that simply, we can throw away all of the crazy rules and all of the do's and don'ts and all of the things that are really making what could be a very simple and beautiful way to live our lives really doable for all of us. So simplify it, understand what a fasting window is, what a feasting window is, understand what happens to us as human beings and creatures within a 24-hour time frame, and how it is you can start incorporating something so that you can reap the most benefits of what you're getting out of your day. That simple. Fasting window, feasting window, and that is intermittent fasting. I have to also intercept here with a little bit of caution in the fact that if intermittent fasting, we know conceptually it's super easy, but if it was easy emotionally and socially and environmentally and peer pressure wise, all of us would be thriving in an intermittent fasting state. So I want you to think about, when you're incorporating intermittent fasting, that it's not one of those things that's going to be just widespread, socially acceptable by everyone that you are surrounded with. And there are going to be social pressures, and there's going to be some mindset sticking points that are going to be a little bit difficult in the beginning for you to get over and really manage for yourself so that you can actually create a lifestyle for yourself. So consider those things as well when you think about intermittent fasting. It is a personal journey that not everyone is going to agree with, and that's okay. This is a time for you to really thrive in what's going to work for you and allow you to live your most authentic life. And that's why we come here together as a community to offer you that support as well, because we all think intermittent fasting is fantastic, and we have all benefited from so many of the great things that intermittent fasting can provide for us. So it is doable for you to just make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons and that you have the right mindset shifts in place to make sure that you can be the most successful on the journey that you want to have for yourself. So I'm going to go in and read some of your questions and comments. Hopefully you guys have had a chance to put your comment in. I ask that you please leave me a comment letting me know whether you are considering intermittent fasting and maybe you're a little scared or intimidated to jump in, or if you were intermittent fasting and maybe you jumped out and you're ready to come back in, or maybe you're intermittent fasting and you're reaping all the benefits. I want to hear from all of you guys today. And I get a lot of feedback from you guys about how you want to share this community with your friends. So right now is a great opportunity to do that. If you're joining us on Facebook, make sure you hit that like button on Facebook and hit that share button and share this kind of information with your friends. This is the best way for you to get information out to your friends who you would love to jump on this journey with you. And on YouTube, you have the same opportunity to do so. There's a share button right there. You can share this video link with your friends and family. I always say the more the merrier, especially for us women, having girlfriends and moms and aunts and family members who are intermittent fasting really does make this journey so much more fun and so much simpler when everybody's on the same page. So always feel free to share these live broadcasts or these rebroadcasts that we do here as well. Tina, I am currently practicing intermittent fasting. Girlfriend, I know you are, and you're reaping all the benefits. Tracy, jumping back in. Awesome, girlfriend. So today you just proclaimed that you're jumping back in. So I want to make sure that you get those fasts and feasts on your schedule, and you start with your fast and your feast that is starting today. So if you're going to close out your feast at a certain time tonight, just consider that your next fast getting back in. Sharice, I'm considering it. I start my first meal at noon. Awesome, girlfriend. Good for you. Lori, I do IF and love it. Awesome. Christina, I've stopped IF for a while. I'm ready to jump back into it. How do you feel about one meal a day? When it comes to intermittent fasting protocols, I always recommend you figuring out how that protocol will fit into your life. And that's really how we create a lifestyle. And we don't do temporary fixes as a diet. So if one meal a day works for you and the lifestyle that you have, then I think it's fantastic. Intermittent fasting protocols and me giving advice on which protocol I think is better or not better in any given situation really goes back to a question I get asked a lot too about exercise. Like, when's the best time to exercise, or what's the best exercise program? And my advice is always the one that will give you the best opportunity for success. So if one meal a day will give you the best opportunity for success, and that's where you thrive, then that is the protocol that you should practice. I believe when you're feeling out of balance hormonally, you're going through perimenopause and menopause and all of the things that happen for a lot of us aging women in this season, I always recommend the 20-hour fast because that does give you enough opportunity in a fasted state, and it builds that consistency over time for you to do that deep healing. And so I say 20-hour fast for that situation. And then when you find your groove, figure out what will work best for your lifestyle. Linda, jumping back in. Awesome, girlfriend. I'm so happy for you. Yvonette's currently doing IF 18 to 20 hours daily. Girlfriend, I'm so excited for you. And you've been consistent ever since you graduated from the class. Melissa, August 2020 graduate, currently fasting 18-6, but fasting longer today. Good for you, girlfriend. And that's that thing. Once you graduate from our class, our class is set up on the foundation of the 20-hour fast and the 4-hour feast, again, so you can build a solid foundation and build your confidence with fasting and really give your body the opportunity to become fat adapted while you're surrounded by a community of like-minded women. But once you're a graduate, I always recommend playing around with your fasting protocols and really seeing where you're going to thrive at what protocol, and then testing the waters a little bit either direction, doing some longer fast and maybe doing some shorter fast. And then knowing that with the experience as a graduate of class, knowing that for 3 weeks, a 20-hour fast will always give you the best reset and really help you hone in on the habit of fasting. I say, yeah, experiment and go fast some days and shorten other days and see where you find your groove for sure. So Melissa, I'm super excited for you. Susan, I am on my 6th day of 20-hour fast after several weeks of off on IF. Yeah, perfect for you. 20-hour fast is a great way to jump back in. Grilled Chicken 59, thanks for jumping on. Susan, I feel really good, but concerned I'm losing too much weight. Okay, so why do you have that concern that you're losing too much weight? Is it a feeling you have? Is it a look you have? And maybe evaluate what it is you're doing in your feasting window, or maybe pulling back a little bit on your fast. Just make sure that when you open up that feasting window a little bit more, that you're incorporating all the nutrient dense foods that will just help you look and feel your best for sure. But now might be a good time to play around with it for sure. And then figure out what it is about where you are that makes you feel like you're losing too much weight, and then just make the subtle changes you need to make to just get you back at that steady state point for sure. Janine, yes, I practiced IF on September 2019 grad of your course and midlife mindset shift grad, and going through it again now. Thanks for all you do, Diane. Yeah, you're welcome, Janine. And yeah, the beautiful thing about intermittent fasting, and again, once you have that, what I call fasting maturity and experience, it is really easy to jump back in and out. And the reason that it's easy to jump back in and out is because you've done the mindset work on knowing that you have that privilege of making the choice of coming in and out, and you're not self-sabotaging or punishing yourself thinking you have to be perfect all the time. So Janine, you are definitely doing the work, girlfriend. Super proud of you for that. Danny, good afternoon. Diane and Michael. Danny, October 2018 grad, currently practicing intermittent fasting, the only way to live. Exactly, girlfriend. I feel the same way. I will be fasting for the rest of my life for sure. Birdie, you look like you're shrinking. You look great. Thank you. I'm not shrinking at all, but I appreciate the compliment for sure. It's probably just because I have a little tank top on or something like that. I always have really lean and fit arms, so I appreciate that for sure. Patsy, hi Diane, currently practicing IF, fine-tuning schedule with new goals in mind. Thank you. Yeah, for sure, Patsy, and I think that's amazing too. Playing around with your intermittent fasting protocols to kind of meet with some goals that you have for yourself. Those are perfect goals to set. So I'm super proud of you. And you have to make sure you check back in with us and let us know how it's going. Rita, IF course grad 2020. I'm on 19.5. Good for you, girlfriend. Cheryl from Costa Rica. I am intermittent fasting for the most part, but have lots of room for improvement. Thanks to you, I'll get there. See you tomorrow night, currently in the mindset course. Yeah, Cheryl, I'll see you tomorrow night for sure. And it's not about trying to reach perfection consistently, right? What we want to do is put ourselves into some sort of fasted opportunity as often as we can, so that we don't knock ourselves out of of what it is we know works for us and go back to old habits because we know those don't work for us, right? So as long as you're getting some opportunity in your day to get into that fasted state, then Cheryl, you're doing great things for yourself. And I know you have a lot going on in your life right now. So give yourself some grace and just do the best that you can, and know that you have the opportunity to jump back in whenever, a little more hardcore when you have the opportunity to do so. Mary Ann, let's see what she had to say. Hi from Oklahoma. Thanks for all the great info. What electrolytes do you use and what minerals? So I drink mineralized water. My mineralized water has potassium, calcium, and magnesium in it, and then I add sodium when I cook. And those are pretty much the electrolytes that I use, and I just get it in the water that I consume. I drink about 100 to 150 ounces of that particular water every day. Tracy Bell, jumping back in. My issue is that I'm increasing my exercise and I can't stay consistent with IF because I get hungrier with increased running and other exercise every day. So you can still incorporate intermittent fasting and exercise. You probably just need to shorten your fasting window a little bit and just up your caloric intake during your feast, or just up your caloric intake during your feast if you want to keep the same protocol. So it might just mean that you need more fuel for your body because you're running. And the other thing I would say is what are your goals, right? So if your goal is to like change your physique or lose a little weight or lose some body weight, remember, hungry isn't necessarily a bad thing. It might just mean that your macro makeup is a little off to not support what it is you're doing energy wise. So consider a couple of those things and just play around with it. I always say test things out for about 7 days and then see how that 7 days went, and then reevaluate, and then maybe test something else out for 7 days and kind of see where it goes from there. But running and fasting are a great combination for sure. So good for you. Marianne, I'm also saving to join one of your courses. Awesome, girlfriend. We can't wait to have you. T Brown, I do alternate day fasting about a month now, down 14 pounds. I love carbs and don't want to do keto. Well, I need to switch. You don't have to do keto to find success with intermittent fasting. Remember, the fasting state that we put our body in yields like almost the same result as what a ketogenic diet is. So what you want to just make sure that you're doing is what you're doing in your feast is supporting what you want to get out of your fast. So you don't want to necessarily have your body take so long to get through what you did in your feast that you don't tap into the healing benefits in your fasting window. So just consider that. I don't live a ketogenic lifestyle. I live a keto-like lifestyle, which basically means that I just incorporate more naturally occurring fats, keep my protein moderate to low, and I'm very conscious about the carbohydrates that I consume in my feast so that I can utilize the healing benefits of my fast. So maybe that will help you with that there for sure. And carbs are not a bad thing. You just got to make sure you're using them in the right way for sure. And then Marlene, hi, could you go over what will break a fast? A fast is broken when your body has an insulin response. So there's not necessarily a particular thing. I mean, we know there are things that will break a fast for sure. There's a lot of information out on the internet saying that you can have 30 calories in your fast and it won't break, or you can do this in your fast and it won't break. And depending on what your goals for fasting are, that could be very, very false, or maybe, something that works for you. We don't know. So what you want to do is ask yourself why you're fasting and what it is that you're going to do in a predetermined fasting window that could potentially knock you out. And is that thing or that decision you're going to make worth it for you? And so it's always a very personal decision about what you're going to do during your fast to question whether it's going to break it or not. And then if it's worth it for you, and a lot of it has to do with where your body is hormonally and chemically as well. For a lot of women who get to the point where they're insulin resistant, or they're pre-diabetic, or they're suffering from like cognitive decline or autoimmune disorder type of things, we have to deal with things more on the cellular level of healing and really get those hormones balanced back out. And so that's where I would say it's not worth the risk. If you're not battling any age-related diseases and you're like, for the most part, pretty healthy, and you're just fasting for like maintenance reasons or whatever, you can play around with some things. And as soon as you feel like you're not reaping the benefits, I would pull them right back out of your fast. So hopefully that's what you were asking there. Jennifer, I just Hi, just listening. I've been fasting a long time, currently pregnant thanks to fasting, so I'll be back when it's over. Jennifer, congratulations, girlfriend. So I'm hoping that you're saying that your intermittent fasting helped heal your body to the point where you were actually able to conceive. So that's an amazing thing. We've had several women in our community who started practicing intermittent fasting and were able to kind of balance out their hormones and able to conceive as well. So congratulations. You'll have to keep us posted and keep checking back in with us for sure. And then we will help you get yourself back on track once you're done with all that you have to do with your pregnancy and recover and whatever you're going to decide to do with your nursing and all that kind of stuff. Karen, can you give your shake recipe? My shake recipe is at the fortodaysagingwoman.com site. So if you go fortodaysagingwoman.com/blog, it is the first post on my blog, and it's the recipe that I used pretty much for this whole year. I pretty much change things up every year, so there'll be a new one coming out soon. But you can find everything there, including all the links to everything that I put in it. And then Marlene, example, will using a sugar substitute break a fast? Yes and no. Again, it's that thing that if you're holding on to a sugar substitute in what you're doing in your fasting window, you have to ask yourself why. Is it like a sweet fix you need? Is it like a little treat? Some even artificial sweeteners or pure like sweeteners like, stevia and monk fruit and those kind of things. You have to read the ingredients labels of those sweeteners because they are ultimately a processed food. Most things that come in little packages have preservatives put them in them or additives for volume purposes. So stevia in little packets often has maltodextrin in it that will 100% break your fast. So you have to test things out. If you put sweeteners and stuff in your drinks and you are not happy with the results that you're getting, or you're not feeling that energized sense of calm, then I would assume that it's breaking your fast because you're not getting into that deep fasted state. And then I would just take it out. And then again, you have to just ask yourself, why are you fasting? And is that thing that you're adding in worth the risk of breaking a fast? Because once you break a fast, you're back at ground zero, right? You got to start all over through the fasting process and getting your insulin levels to be low enough that you can actually get to that state of producing ketones. So I would say if you're serious about what it is you're doing in your fasting window, I wouldn't tempt it at all. I would just cut it out. Jennifer, hi. Okay, I already did that one. Let's see. Zebra, I know I should buy. I don't want to, but I will. I wish I didn't have to. I don't know what that's talking about. Christina, you're welcome. Rita, my husband is supportive of me on IF, but doesn't see himself doing it. Do you have a recommendation for IF resources for him? I always say when it comes to like other people in your life who you want to have like try out intermittent fasting, the best thing that you can do is be a model of it, right? And a lot of times our husbands are a little bit resistant to jumping in on these lifestyle changes with us because we've drugged them through so many in the past, and then we've decided that we aren't going to stick with it. So I would say, show the benefits of what intermittent fasting can do by living the lifestyle out loud in a very positive way. And oftentimes what ends up happening with spouses, and if you have a spouse that's done this, you can chime in for our friend here, and they do it on their own without telling you. So when Michael started intermittent fasting, his biggest fear about intermittent fasting was also my biggest fear about intermittent fasting. And I was afraid I wasn't going to make it through the day because I was hypoglycemic, right? So I'm like, how am I going to go 20 hours without my fix? And so once I got to the point where that wasn't my fear anymore, and I really started living intermittent fasting out in a way that he saw was a benefit and a positive, he started questioning why he wasn't doing it because he saw all the benefits that I was reaping. So I would say model it and then ask him what it is that he is worried about. There's lots of, information. There's more information about intermittent fasting for men out there. But again, it's complicated. It's tricky. It's scientific-y. It's like, you just don't eat breakfast. Like that's the best way to start. And maybe just ask your husband what it is he fears or what information he needs to know. And I bet you could fill in the gaps for him and then just model the behavior for sure, Rita. And they jump in when they're ready. Because there's nothing harmful about intermittent fasting. It's just scary to think about not going out without with not having food because we've had it so regularly for so long. So it's usually just the fear of being without food. Eloise, Diane, Fasting and Feasting Family, Diane and Fasting and Feasting Family, August 2020 grad. It's so good to have you with us, girlfriend. It's always good to have you in our community. T Brown, thank you. I'll start being mindful of my carbs. What about weight training or resistance training? Weight training and resistance training is amazing. With intermittent fasting, you'll reap some pretty nice results. The one thing I would say about weight training and resistance training, depending on how heavy of a load you are working out in, a lot of people, and I have felt this myself, have said that they prefer to do weight training in a fed state rather than a fasted state, and cardio in a fasted state and not a fed state. So again, it's that thing. Play around with your fasting and feasting windows and when it is that you're working out and see how your body feels. Oftentimes in a fasted state, you can feel weak strength-wise. And for cardio, that's not as big of a mind, mess up or, a thing that we get tripped up in our mind because we're in an aerobic state and we get that energy once we get into our workout. But with strength training, it's not aerobic necessarily. And so you can feel weak muscularly, like weak strength-wise. And usually if you're in a fed state, you feel a little bit better. So I would play with that and see how your body responds to a fasted workout versus a fed workout, depending on what kind of workouts you're doing for sure. So play with it a little bit. And then if you have any more questions, come back and let me know. Raina, congratulations. Thank you, Jennifer. That was for you. T Brown, lastly, can you explain your fasting program and the cost? Tina, there's a link in the bio. The best thing to do is just click on that one or go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com and look in there. And you'll get all the information that you need. Our next class starts on September 5th, and it's a 3-week course, no more than 15 minutes a day. And I break you through all the processes that happen in your body chemically and hormonally the first week. So you get that practice of fasting. And then the second and third week, we talk about feasting and then the social and emotional aspect of what living this lifestyle is like. So it's a great class. I think you'll totally love it. Link is in the description for you. And then Dinah, she's so right. My husband started without me knowing and he's doing great. Yeah, for sure. That's what Michael did too. So what we did with Michael is I talked to him about his fear, right? His fear was to not have energy at work. And then I turned it and said, but what if you could sleep later in the morning? What if you didn't have to get up and have to have breakfast before you left for work? And what if you didn't have to pack a lunch and take it to work? And what if on your lunch break you didn't have to stop to eat and you got all that time back and you felt energized throughout the day? And so one day he just woke up and he didn't eat breakfast and he didn't pack a lunch and he had some coffee and he had his water and he made it through the day, and his day was so much simpler and he had so much energy throughout the day. So all of his fears were just what were going on in his head. And when he did it one day, he proved to himself that he made it through the day and he actually felt fantastic, and life for him got really simple and he got more sleep. And so you just have to kind of jump in and give it a try and then see if it'll work. So I'm glad, Dinah, that your husband did it on his own. They don't want us to be the ones that are right, whatever. They don't want to do what we're doing, whatever. Let's just take the win that our husbands are going to live a healthier life and be grateful for that one for sure. So that's all the questions and comments. It's been so fun to hear all of the things that you guys are going through with your fasting and your feasting lifestyles as well. Remember, fasting is literally a timing thing. It's not a diet. It is a lifestyle where all you do is shift when you incorporate food or nutrition into your life and create that chemical and hormonal change in your body. And a fasted state is really where we're just resting and letting our body recover on its own accord. We just move out of the way. We do that through the process of time and consistency. The more time you are in a fasted state, the more consistent you are with this lifestyle, the deeper the benefits you will reap for yourself. And especially for us women who are not happy with the way our body is aging, intermittent fasting is proving to be the best anti-aging approach that we can have for our lives. It gives us our time back, it gives us our energy back, and it really does help us heal our bodies for sure. Okay, I think I got everyone. All right, okay, I will see you guys on Monday. You guys stay safe out there. I know there's so much craziness going on in the world today. There's so much unrest going on in the world today. There are fires in California. We've got hurricanes on the southeastern part of our beautiful state of Texas and up the coast on the East Coast. So please make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do to protect you and your family and your belongings this weekend. Make sure that you're keeping your head in a very positive and safe space. Try to stay away from as much negativity as you can, and do the things that you need to do to take care of you so that you can show up for yourself every day looking and feeling your best and living your most authentic life. I will see you guys on Monday. If you have any questions about our upcoming Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, please send me a private message or please shoot me an email. All of the information to contact me is everywhere all over the internet. I'm really easy to find, and I love chatting with you guys off screen as well. So definitely feel free to email me or drop into my DMs, and I'll get you anything that you need to help you make the decision about jumping in with us on our September 5th course. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.